chapter 14, 4 points.
Chapter 14 for 4. Go ahead, wait, click it. List all you can. This is yours. First hand I see. Proportional representation. First is winner take all. Who's the second hand? They were? Okay, go ahead. You guys have it.
In proportional representation, the seats in Parliament are directly linked to the percentage of votes that the party gets in the elections.
Okay.
So if you get, let's say Party A gets 60% of the votes in the elections, they're going to get 60% of the seats.
That is right. That is, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Absolutely. What's winner take all?
If you get all of them, you get all the seats. So you have total control of them.
Okay, if you get all of them, you get, what does that mean?
If you go like the United States, where if you get 51% of the vote, you get all of the representation. That's not necessarily beneficial because it discourages involvement.
Is it just 51?
It's a majority.
It's just a majority.
If you like that.
I think that's minus. Yeah, that's going to be a -4. Okay, group that had it next, go. What was, and you did call this week, go ahead. Winner take all. The last point was, is it a majority, is it 51%, then you get all the seats.
Once you win it, you take it.
What do you mean by winning it?
The vote. You get the most votes.
Yeah, that's actually what it is. When you get the most votes, 1, 2, 3, 4. When you get the most votes, let me explain, in winner take all, then you ultimately control the seat. So whether you get 50 or 60 or you're winning at 35, you get the seat even if more people voted against you. Go ahead, Louise.
And proportional representation.
Point. They already explained
No, it gives you a chance. It doesn't discourage third parties from running because you can still get representation.
That's true.
Whereas with winner take all, third parties are really discouraged.
That's absolutely true. Hang on. That's absolutely true. Bottom line on this, if you know that 35% wins, then that means 65% doesn't get represented. There are going to be people that will never ever try and run. What's the threshold in a parliamentary system? It is typically 5%. 1, 2, 3, 4. So if you get 5%, what does that mean?
It means you
That
get
means that you get
representation.
representation.
Okay, how much representation? 5%. But if you get 4%,
None.
you don't get anything. Okay, go ahead, Louise.
Proportional representation makes it difficult for one party to control things because they have to form a coalition to do anything.
Generally, they have to form a
Israel's an
coalition.
example.
Sometimes, not necessarily. I'm not going to give you points on that, but I'm not going to take away. Yeah, I'm not going to take away. Anything else? 4, 3, 2. TH, saw your hand. 4, 3.
Basically, coalition.
Are you sure you want this, TH?
Coalition actually make the weakest leader because of they have to take care of this coalition first.
Yes.
And that is where all the majority of decision cannot be processed.
TH, I'm going to be generous. Yeah, that is true. Keep that thought in mind for a later question. You gave me the last correct answer. Click it with. Oh, okay, that was list all you can. Okay, go ahead. TH, pick me a category. Go.
Sorry.
You're good.
Judiciary for 2.
Judiciary for 2. List all you can. You guys have it. Let's at least get the category out. First hand I see, guns. Actually, you did get it. Okay. Tell me all you can in reference to guns. TH's group, go. And actually, everybody's got to talk in the group. So, Joey, jump in on this. Mark, jump in on this.
There was an article.
There was an article.
Can we talk about article?
We can talk about articles.
That guy wake up in the middle of the night.
Yes.
The guy name is Kenneth. He has sunglass chattering. He grabs his can and go into the lodge. And somebody was trying to come in and...
Okay, Kenneth Halicki is the guy. Kenneth Halicki, 1, 2. In the fine state of South Dakota, Kenneth Halicki heard somebody breaking into his lodge. He grabbed his gun. He went back out there to see what it was. He didn't have
ammunition.
Okay, so he went back. And then he came back out. And then what did he do? He shot. And who did he shoot?
He shot 2 teenagers.
He shot 2 teenagers, very, very young kids. Now, here's the question on this. When you're dealing with guns and you're dealing with self-defense for the group, when can you legally shoot somebody, and when does it get questionable? You guys still have this, so go ahead.
As soon as they turn their back, the judge ruled that it's not self-defense.
Okay, so if I'm running away with your television, and you shoot me to save the big screen, indeed, I am not a threat to you at that point, so you could be brought up on charges, 1, 2, depending upon the state. Tell me more.
Another one article is the New York...
Well, finish this other thing. As far as self-defense is concerned, when is it allowed, when isn't it? Because you gave me one example. What else can you tell me? 4, 3, 2.
But South Dakota law allows self-defense with necessary force.
Okay, necessary force. So give me an example when you holding this gun would be allowed to shoot somebody and they would not think anything of it.
you don't know what the somebody is holding. It's dark and you can't really see it, so you just assume that.
Go ahead.
Isn't
4.
when the person is like running towards you?
So if I'm coming at you, then indeed you can gun me down because it's a threat. If I'm running at anybody else, can you do this?
No.
Yes, if he is running towards your son or something, you
Yeah, if you're trying to defend a family member, whether it's a daughter, whether it's a son, whether it's a lady folk, that kind of a thing, and you shoot them even if they're running away from you, but running at that other person, perfectly allowed. What else can you tell me? 4.
Another article, the New York vigilante.
What about the New York vigilante? Who was this?
I can't remember the name.
4. Who was this? 3.
He's a computer geek.
2.
My friend.
1. Who is he?
Bernie Getz.
Bernie Getz is the man. 1, 2. Tell me more.
Bernie Getz was on the subway. He had frequently been accosted by young youths. And
Yeah, he had been. 1, 2. Tell me more.
he got sick of it, so one day he decided to pull out his unregistered gun.
What was it? It was a Smith & Wesson. He pulled out an Okay, so Bernie Getz, as you said, he was a computer geek. Bernie Getz was on the subway. There were routinely these teenage kids, maybe even punks, you might say, that would tough up people. They would come up to you on the subway and say, hey, I need money. And they kind of rub up against you and act like they had stuff in their pants, in their coats and things like this. So this is what they're doing. Okay, Bernie Getz pulls out a Smith & Wesson, an unregistered weapon, and what did he do?
He shot them.
Wait, no, they
as
run
As they
away.
had turned away.
Okay, he pulls out the
They
gun,
run. They turn and run.
and then what?
They turn and run. Then he shoots one of them in the back. He walks up behind it and he says,
and then he,
"You
like,
need
fall-
another."
Yeah, because the guy's like falling down.
And then he hit him again.
Yeah.
When he saw, okay, then what happened?
And
1,
then
2.
everyone's like, hey, awesome.
There was applause on the subway. Anything else you can tell me? 4.
Because
He
then
was not
he
charged
got
with
him
anything else but having an unregistered weapon.
He ultimately was only found guilty of an unregistered weapon. Anything else? What's that?
It's an example of common law.
No, because you were saying it's right under guns are a good example.
Yeah, that is true.
of
That is
common
true.
law.
That is true. I can go with that. Anything else? 4.
There was an applause because everybody's saying that he should have like shot them because like they were like hitting on everybody.
Yeah. 2.
He
1.
defended everybody.
What's
He
that?
defended everybody because they were only
Hush
jumping
your
up.
mouth.
Go ahead. You guys have it.
Yeah, I wanted, talking about guns, the last thing I wanted to bring up was the Eagle Court in Veterans Stadium in Philadelphia, and the guy whips out a flare gun.
Yeah, that is true. That is true. It's illegal based on the Eagle Court to whip out a flare gun, even if it is the Cowboys that are playing. Can you tell me more about Bernie Getz, though?
Oh, more about Bernie
Yeah,
Getz?
now Bernie Getz, what we said is he was convicted criminally of unregistered. What's that?
We can tell what we talked about.
Yeah, but you were giving me irrelevant things. I had to go on to the next group because I don't want to test on this. Okay.
We mentioned he was a computer programmer. He was a white geeky looking guy.
Yeah.
Okay, now that's all true, but there's something else. He was convicted.
He was convicted.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Or-
He was convicted for also for a civil.
Yeah, he was. He was. That's exactly what I'm looking for. Tell me about the
He
civil.
said that. Muhammad said that.
His,
Is to pay $100 a month, or like,
What was the amount
supposed to be like over like 100 million.
it
or
was in the
something.
millions. It was in the millions.
It was in the millions.
To
4.
be paid
3.
$100 a month,
2.
Well, never
which
gonna
you'll
collect it.
publicly
1.
pay.
Because-
Anybody, how much was the
20
amount?
million.
Yeah, it was. It ultimately ended up being $20 million that he was required to pay. To your point, Ross, and I'll give you 1, 2 on that. You're basically required to do this, and 2 for Muhammad as well. Basically required to do this based on the amount that you can pay. So if you can't pay, they're going to limit the amount, which means the guy in the wheelchair is going to get X amount.